Cancer, hello and welcome to your Spring 2024 Shapeshift reading. We're looking at the shape you're shifting out of, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shapeshift looks and feels like over the spring season. I'm Andy, I'm your reader, and I'm joined today by the Green Glyphs box set by James R. Eads. It's got a runic deck and dice set, the Lenormand tarot deck, regular tarot deck, and an oracle deck created by James. So what a set. We're going to use the whole thing in your reading today. So this is sort of like a really big picture read. And yeah, I'm excited to see how this shows up for you this spring. We're going to start by rolling the dice and seeing what the runes have to say. Okay. Nice. All right, let's take a look at this together. Cancer. We are starting with Raidu. And Raidu is clearly the rune of the horse and travel and being on a journey. Sometimes it can indicate like movement from one place to another. It can talk about like the natural cycles and rhythms of movement, but it can even indicate travel if that's something like literal going on for you. And the next rune after it is Hagalaz, which indicates like disasters or disruptions, sudden changes, like unforeseen things, like what's pictured here is hail falling and destroying crops, like a sudden misfortune, for example, but it indicates like the opportunity to learn from something out of your control that happens suddenly that is not necessarily positive, that that brings some sort of sudden unexpected change, but is a strong learning opportunity. So I don't know if that has to do with travel or how you are sort of moving on your journey from one phase to the next. Because then we have this next card, which is Year. This is an Anglo-Saxon rune, so it's not part of the Elder Futhark. Year indicates like craftsmanship, because we're seeing the bow and crafting and creating and then operating and aiming the bow, from like creating the bow to the craftsmanship required to actually like operate the bow. It's skills, it's knowledge, it's focus. It can also talking about like aiming something spot on, because we have the bullseye, and it really is talking about like crafts work. And then finally, Othala or Othila talks about lineage and heritage, or like origins, ancestry, even like ancestral wealth, like everything that you inherited, that you came into this life with. So Cancer, like what is this? Something tells me that the focus of this reading on a personal level for you, Cancer, has something to do with like setting your sights on some sort of innate, maybe even like inherited or ancestral, or like even like heirloom thing, if that is specific and makes sense to you. Setting your sights on some sort of craft that like has been passed down through your family. Or it could just be even like the study of your lineage could be a strong thing showing up here. But there's something like really, again, like bullseye specific for you to focus on about your ancestry. And it may just be, Hagalaz this may be indicating like a sudden change on your like larger journey or trajectory or path that comes in and opens you up to focusing on that, or like clarifies that for you without a doubt. Spot on, bullseye. Or even like reintroduces you to this craft. Okay. Thank you, runes. Let's go to the Lenormand deck. So Lenormand reads differently than the tarot, even though there are some similar cards. Just for those of you that don't know. All right, we're going to get into it. So show us this story a little more specifically for Cancer this spring. Yeah, what is up? There is this like, yeah, maybe like a message arrives. Okay. Well, let's look at this together. Next layer to your spring energy. We've got the letter, the whip, stork, and a ship. And so ship, Raidu, letter, it's indicating some sort of like travel or larger journey, or and letter would indicate like the arrival of some sort of communication that might be like the communication of something, the arrival of a letter or a notice or a realization that might like basically bring some complications and complicate things, with it being the whip and Hagalaz. The whip indicates conflict, something painful. I mean, this is like a weapon used to inflict pain, and a sudden hailstorm would be painful. So we've got possibly like a harbinger of some difficult news or something difficult to endure. And it may be like information that you receive. It might be something you receive in an email or in writing. Typically this talks about, or like even something that you find, a piece of information that you find. The Lenormand speaks pretty literally. That's why I'm talking in such like specific terms. Okay, and then the whip, it's conflict, it's arguments, it's yeah, we're gonna leave that there. Let's look at the stork. By the way, the whip and Hagalaz came out in the Gemini reading, and so far all of the readings have had one card at least from the previous reading, and it's almost like they're building off of one another. So that might be something to do, is to go back to the Gemini reading. Even if you don't have Gemini placements, go back there and just read that and see what's up. Okay, we have the stork, which indicates like change. It's the bringer of change, this like visitor that indicates a new cycle, or something new is transforming, or something is becoming even. So there's a lot of cards, Raidu, stork, ship, that indicate like movement, change, transitions, like journeys from one place to another, travel, transformation. Okay. A change is indicated under year, which is, it does feel like Hagalaz comes in, whatever this news is, it does come in and change things. Like the stork delivers a baby, right? It delivers news. So it comes in and it changes things for you. Maybe it changes your focus, or maybe it changes something really, really deep in your family, or really deep in like the craftsmanship, like the craft that you're honing, or the thing that you're bullseye focusing on. It comes in and changes that somehow. And the ship indicates, let's see. Yeah, the larger journey, or the vehicle that takes you from one place to another, like leaving home, going up, or even maybe like coming back home, especially with the ship coming out underneath Otala. Sometimes the ship can talk about further away journeys too. So I guess there's a question here, Cancer, like, are you returning home in some way? Have you been like off on a journey? And is something calling you back? Maybe something difficult. unforeseen circumstances call you back home. And suddenly you find yourself like completely refocusing. Like this thing has been delivered, has come in and has changed things for you. And the focus is like back on some sort of like family craft or family business maybe, or you're returning home to focus on something ancestral or in something inherited. Right? What else does the ship say? Arriving, adventure, vacation, departure. So is this an arrival or a departure? Is my burning question here as we go into the rest of this reading. So we've got 2 more decks. We've got traditional tarot, so we are going to use the tarot, and then we'll get into James's oracle cards to clarify the rest of this reading. So if it's resonating with you so far and you'd like to view the whole thing, click the link in the description below and that will take you to the shifting space. This is a community of people who investigate these readings together throughout the whole season. You'll have access to the full Cancer reading as well as the full readings for all 12 zodiac signs. So if that sounds like something that you would benefit from, we hope to see you over there. Okay. Cancer. Let's give this tarot another good shuffle. Is this a departure or an arrival? Coming and going. Are you coming and going? People come and go so quickly here. Wizard of Oz. I'm just saying things. Helpful. Very helpful. Okay. Maybe the tarot can help clarify it a little more specifically for you, Cancer.